Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Into the Wrestleverse. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, the Marc Cologne. I am here to talk about professional wrestling. Right? Now, if anybody has seen it, then we have all seen the Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens photo. All right. Um, I know everybody's already, I've seen it. The speculations of even before that photo came out of uh, Jericho possibly going to WWE, back to WWE, right? Which I mean, essentially, I could care less for. Like, bro, I just want you to just finish your career. You know, like Jericho's was and is a great wrestling personality, a tremendous character. He's had numerous very, very good runs in various other companies. But it's when it's time to say goodbye and either put the younger talent over or just um, put everybody else over. You know what I mean? Whether it's putting people over, putting people over, just putting yourself over, whatever the case is. I honestly, in my opinion, I don't think Jericho should be one of those ones where it's like I'm putting myself over all the time. No, put some younger talent over. No, he does some stuff with Hook and stuff like that. I know that, but if he's going to WWE or if he's gonna go to and stay with AEW, look, as long as we get some good stuff, that's I think that's what matters at the end of it all. Like, just give us some good stuff, man. Give us some good stuff. Give us some good feuds, right? Like, I know a few weeks ago on the podcast I talked about potentially doing John Cena versus Chris Jericho for Jericho's last match. I wouldn't necessarily mind that, if I'm being honest. I really wouldn't. Um, but look, at the end of the day, it's definitely not our call. It's everybody else's that are the people that are involved. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting to see if Jericho does say, I want to come back to WWE, have a kind of a retirement tour like Cena and AJ Styles are about to have. AJ Styles, I would assume, is about to have one very soon, at least a short one. Cena's is about to be over, right? So if that's what kind of Jericho's looking for, right, get put into the Hall of Fame, stuff like that, I'm with it. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm digging it. Let's do it. But I mean, if it's just to like wrestle more and not be a positive note, then what are we doing? I will say when Jericho did leave, like it wasn't. I don't think it was anything like that he was doing wrong. I think, I think Jericho did really good. Thought he was, thought we were gonna get a little bit more from Jericho, but obviously the whole WWE stuff, and then he goes to AEW. Which essentially worked out for him, as we all seen. He world champion and so many other accolades he's done in a short time in AEW. But that's kind of what Jericho does. He goes to these wrestling companies all over the world, right? Since he was young, and he's had success in 80, maybe I'm like 100% of those companies. He has done that. You know what I mean? So it's what he does. But let's say like this next, if he does sign with WWE, I think it's gonna be however long his contract is. That's how long he'll be wrestling, and then I think he's done. Then I think he'll be done. You know, it'll be interesting though to kind of see how they kind of work with that, what they do. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for it. Um, Man, no Kevin Owens yet. That's it's tough. It's really tough. It's one of those things that you kind of have to just look. It's, it's touch and go, right? But I mean, hopefully we can see him back soon. I don't know what the progress is and stuff like that. You could definitely see like he's slimmed down. But man, I I I I just I don't know like what's like what's taking so long, right? Like, feel like we're going on a year since he had to retire. Not retire, but take some time away from uh, the business. But not retire. Oh my god, I would hope not. But it's a part of it. You're gonna have things like this happen, and you just got kind of have to just work around it, right? It kind of feels like an Orton situation. Um, he was just gone for like almost 2 years, or might have been 2 years or a little bit more, and it was just like, dang, dude, like when's Orton coming back? Is he gonna come back? Right? And that was the question. It was like, is Randy Orton actually gonna come back? Because it had been so long that that we've seen him, and thankfully he did. And I feel like with Owens is kind of gonna be kind of that situation. But health is first. Health is important. You definitely have to be healthy. Actually, talking to Chris earlier, he had sent me against some stuff from like Will Ospreay, and he you know post op. It's been like 6 weeks. So looking good, looking as good as he can look, right? Because I mean, there's only so much you can do when you just had surgery. Like, yeah, you want to just recover and go back at it, but like there's steps and rehab and all these other things that you have to do to kind of just make sure that you're able to get back in the ring and wrestle again, and not just for one match. Hopefully, for 10 to 20 years, however long Will wants to wrestle. But yeah, man, it's tough. Swerve too. Swerve's recovering nicely. Um, but yeah, Saturday night's main event was last night. Well, actually, a few hours ago. But last night, I'm doing this early at 4 in the morning. So, um, but yeah, it was, last night, whatever. Um, this was a bit. It was weird to me. I'm watching it, getting, enjoying it, right, or at least trying to, um, right, and when WWE is gonna do something, you kind of feel it coming. Like, you're like, man, this is gonna be so weird. And if I had the time, I definitely would have did this before the pay-per-view. But I did post my predictions on socials, so I always like to, have some sort of evidence, and it's not like it's something like I'm telling a lie or something. So, um, there was only 4 matches announced for this event, which I thought, okay, it's fine, it's whatever. So 4 matches, and then I thought they would do 5, and then but they did have like a John Cena segment, and it kind at first it kind of felt like they were saying like that he's here and we're gonna find out who his next opponent is right now, right? And it was more like a video package or whatnot, and it was just like, oh, this is what they're doing, and essentially it wasn't bad. Like I get what they're trying to give us, what they're trying to do. I just felt like it was like, man, like y'all could have did this so much better, and that's how I felt in my opinion. It was just like, this could have been better. It could have been better, and it wasn't. It wasn't. I'm not gonna put all the hate or spew everything onto WWE. Like I get it. You're having like I think it's like a gauntlet or a battle royal. And it's like, okay, whatever. But then like when you get more into it, it's like, well, Cena's not coming out. He's not announcing it. It's just like it's like a sit down interview. Which I think there's more to the interview, but they're like, oh, we're not gonna show it all on here. So now you gotta like look for the interview and stuff like that. It was just weird to me. It's like, why do I have to go through all these puzzles to find out? Now I don't think it's this Monday. I think they said it was gonna be the next one. I could be wrong though. It could happen this Monday. I'm not. It definitely feels like they have something up their sleeve with this, right? Like maybe something happens, or maybe we do actually find out who Cena's last match is going to be against, right? And we're just talking about Chris Jericho, and maybe he shows up, right? Because Cena says the winner could even be somebody that doesn't even work here, and instantly people thought Edge, but I don't like being that guy, but I just don't feel like they're going to actually Tony, right? WWE, they're not going to let that happen. I just feel like they'll never just be like, okay, yeah, it's this. We're doing this now. I just don't feel like that's ever going to happen. I would love for it to happen. I think it would be great for the business. I think it'd be big for the business to kind of just do something along these lines of, well, look, you had a rivalry with Edge. You had a rivalry with Cena. It was probably one of the greatest rivalries of all time. It has to at least be top 10. Why not have one more match? And that one more match would be Cena's last match, right? Like it's there for the taking. Like it's literally like when you think about it, like you're licking your chops, like you're licking your fingers after eating some chicken. Like it's there, but then it's not there, right? And we start questioning and right, and then they'll throw stuff like this out. But honestly, if it's not from AAA, it's going to be people from what's that place? TNA. Sorry, I don't think like AEW. No, if it's not a free agent, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? There's a few suggestions I have. Cena has kind of always wanted to put over the younger talent. That's why he's having this retirement tour, right? There's a few people I look at. I look at Dom. I think Dom's like the first choice. I also look at Gunther though. I feel like Gunther's another one. You know, we haven't seen him in a while. Um, we would expect him to return very soon, and you know maybe that's the guy that Cena's gonna face, right? Um, I feel like Dom or Gunther have to be the choices. They just have to be the choices, right? And I feel like it would be so much sweeter too, like if the world title was on the line, right? Like I feel like if it's any of those men, no matter the outcome of the match, people are gonna be okay with. And I will say maybe it's good the title wasn't on the line because if Cena has the title or Dom Dom or Gunther have the title, then fans would probably be more torn because they probably want Cena to win the title again. Um, so it's interesting. It is interesting. It'd also be pretty cool to see, I'm not gonna lie, Cena versus Punk for the world title. The last match. I think that would be pretty cool. But we're not gonna get that, obviously. So I feel like Dom or Gunther, they definitely have to be the choices. I think but you see, like if I had to like be like, okay, who could it benefit most? Both men are extremely over, so maybe it's neither. Maybe it's like a kind of like a younger guy that still kind of has to prove themselves. Maybe an Austin Theory, right? Maybe Austin Theory is that guy, right? I think that would be great for him. Maybe Grayson Waller. Um, I'm looking at who else? Neither of the Usos. You could do Solo if Stella Fatu, let's say, somehow, some way is signed and they could get him on there. I think that would be pretty cool because that's a young talent that still kind of needs to prove themselves. Um, I would say maybe Solo. Carmelo Hayes is another one. Um, if it was up to me, it'd be Will Ospreay versus John Cena for the last match. But that we're not getting that. We're not getting that. Um, if I man, but if I had to for the last match, I would say Dom. Gunther, I feel like is man made already. Dom still has something to prove. You know, he hasn't been world champion. He hasn't been like that dominating force. This year's been really good to him with WWE. Like WWE has been using him to a focus, to a coin. He's been doing really well under the bracket of WWE. You know, the evolution of Dominic Mysterio. It's been very good. Been very good. They've done an excellent job with him. There's no complaints there. The only thing I would change, I'd have Cena be his last opponent. I'd have him beat Cena. You really want to put him over the moon? You have him beat Cena. Then you have to capitalize on the momentum, which would lead to, hear me out now, Dominic Mysterio winning the Royal Rumble or winning the Money in the Bank briefcase and becoming world champion in 2026. It's that simple. It's not that hard. It's really simple. All you have to do is put the pieces and you'll have everything you're looking for. You know, that's what it comes down to, though. I feel like that's what, like, if you really want to put Dom in that stratosphere of superstar, of like legend killer type deals, like, this is what you do right now. This has to be done. It has to. You have a star in the making. Like I said, Gunther's already a star. He is. Gunther's a star. A lot of guys on the roster are stars. I think, in my opinion, I think Cena would love to face Dom in his last match. Even if Cena wins, right? Let's say Cena doesn't put over Dom. That's fine. Even if Cena faced Gunther in his last match, that's fine. That is completely fine. Because guess what? They're going to come out of there better. They're going to come out of there approved, on the road to becoming legends. This is like Shawn Michaels retiring Ric Flair. This is exactly what this is. You have to be able to see it through. You have to, because this is what they're reenacting right now, right? And it's not at a WrestleMania, which it should be. I would love for Cena to be like, you know what? I'm gonna wrestle at WrestleMania 43, right? And I think that's the next WrestleMania. Yeah, WrestleMania 43, and I'm gonna, that'll be my last match. Like doing something like that, I feel like would be so cool, and you'd be able to have a little bit more time to kind of just work with some of the people you haven't worked with just yet, right? And I think, in my opinion, I think it would be pretty cool to Cena were to do that, but it's not gonna happen. Cena's just one of those people that, like, look, when I give my I'm done, guess what? I'm done, and that's kind of the type of person John Cena is, and nothing wrong with that, If you're done, hey, you're done. You don't want to do it anymore. That's okay. You're leaving at a perfect time. Honestly, like John Cena has done it all. He broke Flair's record, which is amazing. Um, he had an amazing year. It wasn't what we all wanted, but Cena isn't complaining, right? Like, now what I love for John Cena, somehow, some way, after his WWE run, he goes to AEW and has a little extension to this. Yes, I would love that. I would love for him to have matches with Okada and Omega and Ospreay and Swerve and somebody else, Edge, Christian, right? Like, you can have the one more matches with them, right? Like, you can do all these things, but do I think it's gonna happen? Absolutely not. I don't think for 1 minute like we're gonna get that, you know, um, which is fine. Like I said, it's fine at the end of the day because Cena gets to do what he wants. This is his tour. This is his life. This is his career. And if he doesn't want to have one more or a few more matches in another company or whatever, Cena just doesn't seem like that type of person to be like, well, let me go to this company now, the rival company, and piss WWE off and have these amazing matches over here. I would have, and if Cena made it to AEW, 100% you can believe he's gonna face Jon Moxley, and Bryan Danielson would come out of retirement to face John Cena, 100%. And that's when you have like these promotion wars, right, and stuff like that. Like, it sucks because AEW could be working with WWE right now and putting on so many great stuff. Same thing, that's why New Japan doesn't really mess with WWE as much because of their AEW partnership. But could you imagine even New Japan, working with WWE? Like, it would be absolutely amazing. It would be beautiful, But these are things that happen in the real world, and who knows when we'll see this, Um, who just we don't know, you know. But it's a part of it. It is a part of it. So yeah, that was just a little. I was like, really? I thought we were gonna actually have like John Cena. If John Cena actually would have came out, he would have addressed the crowd and stuff. That kind of would have been like their fifth match. But the fact that they made their fifth match into like a video package and stuff like that, I thought that was corny. I didn't like that, you know. Which I mean, I'm sure he's busy. Cena's busy. And even if he wasn't, like he's not obligated to. But if WWE knew this, like, dude, why not just have a fifth match? You had a squash match on this. It just feels like a recorded uh, house show. Like that's what it feels like to me, you know. And I don't like that feeling, people. I just don't. It just rubs me the wrong way, you know. Um, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I seen Triple H wasn't there too. I did see that. Again, I'm gonna say it again. These people are not obligated to be there if they don't have to be there. Maybe I'm sure he had other obligations that day, and he couldn't be there. Now I would hope he would be there for Cena's, but you know we see that Triple H hasn't been to some of these Raws or other events, and nothing. I don't think it's nothing to be worried about. You put your guys in the best position to succeed and win, and you have an amazing staff. If you have that, man, nothing else matters at all, you know. And I don't know. I just, man, it's a not gonna sit here and criticize Triple H because he had other obligations. I definitely not doing that. Um, but I wonder who would be like the next. Would it be maybe a Shawn Michaels? Like that would kind of be like the next in line. You know, that's just very interesting. It's very interesting to kind of when you see these things, it's like okay, well, why, right? Like why is this happening? What's the point of it? Um, so they opened the show with Cody versus Drew. When I when I seen that they opened the show, I already just from them opening the show, I knew Cody was gonna retain. I said it. Now the way he retained was pretty interesting. I'll say that was interesting. I was like, oh, Cody's doing what now? You know, which I don't think it's necessarily bad. Like, yes, show that little greedy side of you that you're not willing to lay down and be the pet and lose your championship again because somebody took advantage of you. I think that's very well done. They hit it they hit the nail on the coffin. They really did. Like there's nothing better than that of the perfect storytelling, right? And I figured Cody was gonna retain. It, it's just there's certain things you kind of just see from like a mile away happening, right? And I hope this is kind of the soon to be Cody Rhodes turning heel. I would love that for Cody to turn heel and be this bad guy. I know everybody expects Randy Orton to turn on Cody, but I've said it for months now. What if Cody was the one to turn on Randy? You can get that Homelander vibe from him, right? And I think that would be great. I think that's what Cody needs. I know it's kind of like the Cena effect of not wanting to do it, but look, man, so what? Who cares? Just go for it, right? Like just do it, man. This isn't necessarily working for you right now, right? And It's not his. I won't put everything on him. I'm not gonna do that. But you got some blame, Cody. You got some blame. But no, it's just it's a part of it, man. It is. It's a part of it. I mean, we've seen, his first run in WWE. We've seen what happened in AEW with the fans. So you're gonna have situations like this, man. You just gotta figure a way to just uh, exit out the noise, right? I don't know what else to say besides that. Just exit out the noise and keep doing you. Whether it's you being a face, you being a heel, whatever the case is, right? As long as he's happy, he's doing what he wants to do is the most important thing, and always will be the most important thing. Then nothing else really matters. We also think Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill won her first singles title in WWE. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was amazing that she did that. Good for her. Congratulations. She squashed Tiffany Stratton, but she's a heel now. She's supposed to, right? Look, Tiffany held onto that title for some time. I really think she should have put up more of a fight, as one would say. But I mean, look, she did what she had to. She won. Can't ask for much more. We knew this day would come, right? Where we're sitting here, where we're talking about, Jade Cargill being the women's champion of WWE. I will say, if it didn't happen in WWE, it was gonna happen in AEW. It was bound to happen. She's a star. She looks like a star. She has to work on some things, obviously. She's very, very green in the business of, in the business of WWE and just professional wrestling itself. Like, she's green, and she's gonna get there. She's gonna do what she needs to do. But congratulations to her. Congratulations to her. Really, amazing job. Honestly, we'll see what this title reign brings. I mean, if you're thinking like I am, it's definitely going to be. I think we can all see it happening, which is going to be Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. That's where I see this thing going. I don't know if y'all feel the same way about that, but yeah, I feel like this is going right. And then maybe a triple threat match um, whenever Naomi comes back, right? Whether it's later this year or in 2027, I think they'll definitely have like a triple threat between those three, which is great, honestly. But yeah. So congratulations to Jade Cargill. Um, it's she earned it. What else can I say? What else can I say? Um, but yeah, she earned it. She won. Um, she did her thing. And then we had the third match, which was the triple threat match, right? We've seen how that played out. It's interesting, right? I know a lot of people were highly upset. They're like, "Oh, what is going on?" Dom again doing this stuff. I get people. We're about to be put on a ride, right? And they need to do this quick because the fact that Dominic Mysterio continues to get cheered, something's happening. Like something is wrong, you know. But I think they're going to. I think they're going to do some things. What those things could be, I don't know. But I feel like the baby face churn is coming, and the beauty of it is they don't need they don't need to take anything away from Dominic Mysterio. That's the beauty of it, right? Like I need everybody, just everybody. I need everybody to understand that you honestly, you honestly have this in your hand right now, where you can basically say like, "Yo, I control this. I control this, man," and that's it's amazing. It is it's amazing, and whatever they do, man, it's gonna be great. It is. It'll be great. Um, people are gonna love it. Especially when he starts to to be better, to get better. Oh man, it's gonna be great. It is. Um, there's some other stuff. Now I will say I don't know how this is gonna happen, what they're gonna do, but however they do it, they gotta hit this on the nail. Like they gotta hit this perfectly, like just perfectly. That's all they need to do. Hit it perfectly, and they got it. You know. Now the main event: Jey Uso versus CM Punk. Right. Very interesting talk here, right? Because we're talking about, uh, I went into this. It was a bit conflicting. It was a bit conflicting for me because I was like, man, like, yeah, I can pick. Um, I was like, I could pick Jay, but I felt like something was gonna happen that was gonna stop Jey Uso from winning this. And guess what? I was right. I was right. Something did happen that that stopped them from winning it. And it happens. It happens, people. But no, in all seriousness, though, um, CM Punk deserved it. He was gonna eventually win it again, win one, at least one more. I felt like he needs to have at least one kind of long reign, right? Like if you're gonna give it a Roman, if you're gonna give it a Cody, if you're gonna give it a Cena, if Punk has a reign like that, that wouldn't necessarily be bad. Where like he's holding it, from WrestleMania till SummerSlam. I don't think that's bad at all. Um, Now when I look at this stuff though, because I like to like analyze it and everything. Um, so maybe Seth actually might be injured unless he returns for War Games. Um, right? I mean, we'll see what happens with Jey Uso. Jey Uso is not the happiest person in the world right now, which I mean makes sense. It makes sense. Like you just lost the title shot, the title match. There's so much going on with you and Roman, and you got all these things kind of happening right now at your disposal, right? It's happening under you, and honestly, there's not much you can actually just do about it. You kind of just have to roll with what you got, right? And that's kind of what Jey Uso kind of has to do right now. Kind of has to regroup, right? For some reason, I do feel like a second title reign for Jey Uso will happen eventually. I don't know if that will happen, and wholeheartedly, like I just don't know if that'll be kind of in the cards for him. Um, like if he went back to being a tag team specialist again, like I wouldn't that wouldn't bother me. It really wouldn't. I wouldn't be bothered by that one bit, right? And not because I don't think Jey Uso is good enough or nothing like that, but he accomplished what he was set out to accomplish, right? And yeah, he can have another run. He can have more runs. Absolutely, 100%. There's nowhere in a book that says he can't have that. Now there might be posts about it, but you know, I think Jey Uso kind of just needs to focus on what's going on with him and him and Jimmy, right? Roman, right? Like I think that's the kind of where he needs to kind of set his sights at right now because it ain't looking good, my boy. It's not looking good, and so I kind of feel like that's where he needs to have his eyes set at right now is just figuring out what's going on with this bloodline and because Solo's doing this thing where he's at. I mean, SmackDown, he got the other bloodline, and they're doing their stuff, they're doing their thing, and he just needs to figure it out, right? He needs to figure it out. That's all that can really be said about that, honestly. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, though. You know, Punk. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. Surprised like AJ Lee ain't come on or anything like that, but I don't know. That's a whole nother situation. I don't know what's going on with that. Um, hopefully it's not too crazy, um, right? Because you don't want it to kind of be like a situation like that. Like you want it to be like, okay, well, maybe she's just taking some time. Just they're not going to use her right now, right? Like hopefully it's something like that and it's nothing too crazy or anything like that because that would suck. That would really suck. Hopefully it wasn't like, oh, we're just gonna use you to pump up some money real quick. Like I definitely hope it wasn't nothing like that because in my opinion that's not right. Um, but yeah, hopefully it's a whole different situation. Like I said, it's tough. It is tough. Um, but besides that, I think we talked about mostly everything. I do have a few other stuff though. Before I do let you guys go, um, let's see. They did announce the blood and guts match, which I believe they're having a men's and a women's this year, which I love. That's perfect. So it's going to be a team of Mercedes Monet, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and Triangle of Madness versus Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale, Queen Aminata, Jamie Hayter, and Harley Cameron. Now, the interesting thing about this is Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale are going to be teaming up together. And Tony Storm. Very interesting. I think it's very intriguing, very interesting. Um, it'll be interesting to see, what happens and who's going to be on the men's. But yeah, that's huge. That's big. That's unbelievable. You're also gonna get Bandito versus Mascara Dorado on Friday Night Collision, which that happened last night. Well, Saturday, but you get it. Um, so I hope you guys enjoy. I didn't get to see that yet, as you could tell. Um, but yeah, yeah. That's a very interesting lineup, though. Like, I know a lot of people are saying, how much did they pay Mercedes to join the Blood and Guts match? Don't matter. She's gonna be in it. That's gonna be amazing. Um, as far as for the men's though, and don't forget this is happening on the 12th of November. But for the men's, you have the Death Riders, Pac, Claudio, Garcia, Yuta, Mox versus Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Darby Allin. It is kind of weird to see all these posters being made, not seeing Kenny, not seeing Will, not seeing Swerve. Like it's weird. It is very, very weird. Um yeah, yeah. Nothing really. Just those two, the Blood and Guts. It's gonna be interesting. Don't forget, Full Gear is on this month as well. That's gonna be really, really good as well. As your that's November 22nd. Don't forget about that. Very, very good stuff there. But yeah, yeah. Let's see what else. Now there was something on a post, the Will post that was made, and Will Ospreay announced that he has been cleared for physical therapy 6 weeks post operation. His PT says that he is doing great, and also said January 2026. I didn't want to mention that until I got some more. Um, but a lot of people are speculating that he can be back. That he can be back possibly in January. Um, so this is very tough. This can be alarming in a few ways, and nothing bad. It's nothing bad, in my opinion, right? Like I don't think it's bad in any other way, any way at all. But I think if Will is going to be back by January, then he can show up at World's End. The close is going the close, yeah. The show is going to close, and the lights go out, and his entrance music starts to hit, or he just pops out and does something crazy, right? Like you can do it in so many ways. Like it's honestly a blessing, right? Like, and I know some people are saying like, yeah, he might not be out that long, right? We got Swerve too. Swerve might be back around that time too. You would assume maybe longer. Who knows? Um, but this is, guys, this is big. This is definitely like a big. This is something a lot of people are going to be talking about now, because now you're in a situation where you can possibly have your number one, well, at least one of your top guys return, if this is in fact accurate. Like if this is like January 2026, there's a rocket ship right next to it. Like it's one of two things. In my opinion, it's one or two things. Either Will Ospreay is possibly going to get cleared in January to return, or there's another bump in the road, and for him to get more clearance, be able to do more stuff, it's in January. That's the two things I'm going to take away from this post and the comments being made on the post. You know, it's been 6 weeks, right? He hasn't wrestled since Forbidden Door, mind you. So we're talking about, if he hasn't wrestled since Forbidden Door, that would be that was in August. So yeah, it hasn't been that long. But January, you still got 2 months until January gets here. So you kind of can speculate. It might not. He might not be out that long. But then again, we could just be speculating here and hoping for the best, right? And he might be out that long. You know, he might be out a little longer. So I definitely don't want to like get my hopes up too much, because I feel like if I were to do that, I'd probably be let down, right? But it's hard not to get excited about something that potentially could happen, right? And this is like after every AEW show. Because I know Swerve is out right now. I know Kenny is out right now, but it's not due to injury, less that I've heard. But you have this situation where you have Will out, you have Swerve out. Like, and any of these shows that are about to end, or maybe they have the surprise early in the show, like, it can happen at any moment. You know, next thing you know, like, they've been gone for a few months. Next thing you know, they've been gone for half a year. You know, and then next thing you know, they're popping up again, right? You never know when that moment's gonna hit, when that's gonna happen. And like I've been telling a lot of people, like I've been saying on this podcast, Will Ospreay is probably a psychopath for professional wrestling. If he is a psychopath for professional wrestling, I would not be surprised to see him back sooner than a lot of people are expecting, because that's just the type of person that Will Ospreay is. That's the type of person he's always going to be. Same thing with Swerve, right? Swerve says he wants to retire when his contract's over. Well, I'm sure he doesn't want to be like, well, you know, they only got half of me because I had to get surgery and I was out. No, I'm sure Swerve wants to hurry up, come back, and give everybody what they want and deserve, you know? I feel like Will's the same way. Now, Will hasn't said he's going to retire after his contract's up, but, you know, he definitely has said he doesn't want to wrestle and, you know, that much longer. You know what I mean? And so we don't know exactly how much time we have with these greats. And we gotta enjoy them. We can't take them for granted. We cannot. And I'm excited, man. I can't wait to figure out what's in January for Will Ospreay, whether that's, you know, being cleared and returning to AEW, or if it's, you know, another obstacle he kind of has to climb, right? And if the doctors allow him to climb it, he's closer to returning. Either way, each day, each month that goes by, Will Ospreay is closer to returning, and that's the beauty of it. I did see something the other day. They're gonna take out moves like the Hidden Blade and stuff like that from the game. From 2K. This upcoming 2K want to be 26, 27, whatever, whichever one it is. I think it's 26. Kind of sucks. It sucks. It sucks because that makes no sense. That's why a lot of fans resonate with the game. They fall in love with it. They like playing it because there's other moves that really shouldn't be in there. There's other attires that shouldn't be in there. There's other people that shouldn't be in the community creations, right? Like that's what makes it the game pretty cool. And I feel like if they did that, yeah, I might be off of WWE 2K just for a little bit because I feel like that's just it's wrong. I feel like, in my opinion, I think that ain't right. Especially there's so many good creators out there, um, in the realm of community creations, and man, they kill it. They do. They kill it, man. And it would definitely suck to see like that kind of get taken away because people suck and they hate when other people have fun. You know, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Like I said, I think it's a pretty cool concept that they have that, people could just have fun with it. They create whoever they want and they make the most of it. They make the most of it. So yeah, hopefully, that stays, but we'll see as we get closer or when the game comes out. Um, but yeah, man, my honesty, I don't think there's much else to really talk about. Somebody else said Will Ospreay is doing great. 6 weeks post-op with January 2026 looking to be potential target date in his recovery after neck surgery. So, but we'll see. We will see. There's been a few matches announced for Full Gear already. You got Adam Page versus Joe, Statlander versus Monet, Brodito versus FTR. So you have a few matches already announced. Um, don't forget, right? That's Full Gear. Yeah. WWE has the other Saturday, but War Games is before that though. So very interesting. But besides that, I don't think there's anything else. Tiffany Stratton was champion for 302 days. It's pretty long, honestly. She had that title for a very long time. So congratulations to her. She she did her thing. Now John Cena did announce the 16-man tournament that will begin November 10th. So yeah, the tournament is being called the Last Time Is Now tournament. It kind of feels like like a 2K storyline, right? Like it's crazy. Hopefully we see Adam Cole return soon. Can't wait to see Takeshita versus Okada. I think that'd be really, really good as well. Um, some really good stuff. Yeah, but that's it. That's all I really have for you guys on this episode of Into the Wrestleverse. There's not there's really nothing else that I could throw out there for you guys. Yeah, there's nothing else. So yeah, this is the end of the podcast. I do appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for always tuning into this podcast. Just listen to me talk about professional wrestling, my ideas, the rumors, and so much more. This is the Marc Cologne. And until next time, we will. Until next time, until we are able to get back into the Wrestleverse. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Talk to you guys next week. Goodbye.